Gibby, I have to say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Merry Christmas to you and your family and to Moose. What was the one gift you got this year that you really liked?
I got like a present, because the gift for me was being around the family and the daughters and everybody put away their cell phones for the whole morning, it's a big deal now, and we got to do that. And, opened all of our gifts. Dad cooks a big breakfast, and we just hang out. That was the true gift. But my daughters did get me, both of them got me some golf apparel, nice pullovers, really nice ones. So that was nice.
Well, Moose,
how about you? Moose,
I just have to say, do you actually think that'll help his golf game?
No.
Not a chance in heck.
No.
Hey, we're back, and we're going to talk some high school basketball, wrestling, and hockey. It's good to be back here. We do have Moose over here running the show. Moose, I know you've had a lot of big gifts lately. Yeah. What was your big gift this year?
The biggest one I got?
Yeah.
I got
the biggest one you got.
I got a smoker.
Oh.
Another one. I like.
How many do you need?
Yeah, how many, what kind of smoker?
I sold a couple. This is probably my third pellet smoker.
Really? What kind?
How many do you use?
One at a time. I've gotten that question a lot. But it kind of all worked out. I sold a couple this year, and then the one I have is old, seasoned. It worked for Christmas Day. I haven't put together the new one yet. But
what's the new one, bud?
I got a Pit Boss this time.
Yeah, that's what I have.
I went to their competition series. It has the Wi-Fi capability. I've used one before, so I have the app on my phone. It's all Wi-Fi and everything.
Hey, curiosity.
Yeah.
Do you smoke meat on it?
Is that what we're supposed to do?
Well, I don't know. Have you had any?
What? Food?
Anything he smoked?
Well, I'm sure he just got it. He said he hadn't even put it together yet. Give him a break.
I just think the guy could bring
Christmas
some food in.
I will sometime, yes. This one's got a couple things. The funny part is my old one is making noises, and then my grill.
Boy, there's so many things.
The last time I went to use my grill, it fell apart. So the burners were laying down and all rusted out.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah.
There's so many places I could go with that, but we're just going to leave that. The best gift I had.
That's the new one.
The best gift I had was just kind of similar, just being with my family. Nothing better than waking up Christmas Day and home with the family, going to church, just loving life.
Well, we both experienced it. Moose has done it like 6 times now, but we experienced something this year. Did you even realize? Did you guys talk about it all? We're losing. This is the first or the last Christmas that we're gonna technically not lose a child. You know what I'm saying? But it was we're putting all the ornaments on the tree and stuff, and we're like, is this gonna be the last one? We're like, us 4 are gonna be doing this as a family, right? Because Kiki's going off to FAU and Bennett's going to college as well, and so we don't know, right?
Oh
but
yeah,
so it's the first one.
Yeah,
so we've been to do it several times. So, but remember, it's just it is like one of those moments where you're like, man. It's like you want to. It's just for real. Things start to change, and but it makes it more special, like you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, look at Moose. He's done that like 18 times when you have 22 kids. Jesus.
But no, it was good. It was really good.
It's always good, Christmas or the holiday spirit. Just getting with family, right? The extended family is fun.
I had my kids at my house, and yesterday had a lot of fun, played a lot of games. Part of their stocking gifts was new games, and we're a game family. We do a lot of board games, card games, that kind of stuff.
What's your card game of choice?
Cribbage.
Yeah.
Oh, I like 500. Nobody plays those card games anymore.
Well, I played a new game recently. Actually, I played it the Saturday of the games. It's called Horses. Jarko brought it out. I love it. I'm going to buy it.
Is that the one with the board with the horses in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm buying that.
My fiance plays that all the time.
No,
it's
just
so
her family.
You're what?
Awesome.
You're what? Did you say fiance on air? Congratulations!
Hey, you didn't even let us know.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Congratulations! Wow.
Thanks.
So, I've played horses before. If you ever need, you sure you haven't played?
It's not 654, isn't that?
No. Come on.
Kind of. No, but it's a great time.
You
It
just
is
go
awesome.
up with Kip and me to the old fantasy draft that used to be, and the boys bring that game out late at night. But you better bring a pocketbook.
It's you can lose a lot of money in that game.
Well,
I wouldn't play it that way with my family, but I
I
thought
know.
what I'd like to do is like play it for like nickels or something, like with the family. Say, hey, here's the deal. There's $50 to be won.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna take this home. But man, yeah, if you start playing like $1, $2, how would you play? Like $1, $2, $4, $8? Is that what you played?
How about like when they start throwing out numbers with zeros behind it,
Really?
like 20?
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's-
a lot. That's a lot.
That's moose money.
That is moose.
Moose might no.
Well, I mean,
Moose
seriously.
doesn't gamble.
Well, you do every time.
Speaking of me speaking in the third person there, did you guys hear Ricky Henderson died?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever seen some of the stories?
Yeah, he always spoke
Ricky.
in third person.
Yeah. Ricky feels good. Yeah.
Ricky
I
feels
don't know.
good.
Well, Gibby does that.
Ricky's-
He's like, Gibby's
Well,
feels
they,
good.
today I saw something. I know how you can be off by 1 or 2, and Scrib's gonna call you out on it. So that I could be off 1 or 2, so you come. But that De La Cruz, the guy from the Reds, had 67 steals this year.
Yeah.
He was thrown out like 16 times. They said Ricky Henderson, and he was like 23, right? He's young. He's 23. Ricky Henderson stole 66 bases, was only thrown out 13 times at the age of 39.
Wasn't he getting like
That is incredible. Or 38 or
what was
something.
his most? It wasn't like 100.
112.
Yeah,
I
there
just
was-
heard it on the K-Fan.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then, like he got hurt in one of those stretches, and the next guy, like they were interviewing the guy that won the stolen base title that year. He's like, I had like 60. He's like, I won it, and he goes the next day after the season's over. He's like, Ricky Henderson calls me. He's like, Ricky here. He's like, you ain't getting that next year. Basically hung up on him.
Actually, how that probably went was, hey, this is Ricky, and Ricky told me to tell you that you ain't doing that next year.
You're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Single
Ricky Henderson. That's a
season
huge
record of 130 steals in 1982.
130 stolen
Yeah, I mean,
bases.
that's fast. That's like Scribner speed.
Yeah.
It's more like
Bennett is pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah.
it's more like
Lindsay's really
speed.
fast.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Bennett, though, we got to call it out. Hey, these cleats right here.
Yeah.
We got to talk about these because
Okay.
these. One of the games I talked about it on air. I'm like, God, Bennett's got black cleats out there. That's weird. He normally has his white cleats. Well, find out that it's an old pair that he had gotten from Alex, and Hunter Byer painted them and designed them. So we felt where else would they better be than in the closet than right here at the Scrib and Gib podcast
Yeah, let's do
studio in the Linda studio right here. We're gonna start collecting this stuff. So hey, I mean, if you
We've
see
got
Hunter,
a jersey, too, to throw.
yeah, we got his jersey. We'll get that hung up. But if
Love
you
it.
see Hunter, you talk to him. This is really cool. I think it's really neat. He's got his number on here. He's got the ribbon for Bennett's for
breast
Lindsay
cancer,
and
yeah.
breast cancer. It's really cool. I saw him on him, and I saw him in a picture. I'm like, can I see them one day? And finally, at the end of the season, he brought them home. It's kind of cool.
It is awesome.
So huge
Nice
shout
job.
out to Hunter Byer. I mean, he does a heck of a good job on
Yeah, he
that.
did.
So,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
so I was thinking, though, Hunter, if you ever connect with me and let's just hook up sometime, talk about this, because I'd like to understand your passion behind this. But it'd be kind of neat if we could maybe find an old pair of cleats for Gibby. Now, basically, what that would be is that's just all
they didn't
leather.
They didn't look
It'd
like
just
that.
be leather,
Yeah. Well, they were
And-
kind of high. They were high tops.
probably to your knees.
Not quite that high.
Well, just
but
think
pretty
if they were mooses, they'd be stitched right
cool.
into his
It's
knee. Like the old wrestling boots.
connected to it.
The old wrestling
Why?
boots.
I'm sitting here next to the soundboard. You'd think by now I would stinking just hit the mute button when I know that crap is coming.
Oh. All right. Well, anyway, I had to call out that, so that's really cool. So I wanted to. We're gonna start collecting more and more stuff up.
Yeah,
in here.
we want some more. Some
For
more
sure.
sponsor stuff too. Would be fun. Yeah, we got great
we got
sponsors.
the American National.
Did you just get the name of my insurance company right?
Well, I had to read it.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah,
you couldn't get it wrong.
Just a quick tidbit, if you don't mind me advertising.
Oh, I
Let's
thought you
go.
were gonna
Let's
say
throw it out
something
there.
else.
So American National, we actually are rebranding in 2025. My insurance agency is, so it's going to be the JLS agency. It'll be myjlsinsurance.com.
Really?
Getting more into the personal lines.
Yeah.
Becoming a broker for it. So,
So we
watch
won't
look
really
for that
talk
to come
about
out.
American-
American National is still my baby for my commercial and my ag.
So if somebody wants to, shop their personal lines,
Home and
come
auto,
on in.
yeah, come
Home
on
and
in.
auto,
Give me a
awesome.
call. I got somebody starting hopefully January, and Yeah, we're gonna
Awesome.
hit it. Ground running.
JLS, is that what it is?
Yep, JLS agency. So it'd be myjlsinsurance.com.
There we go.
Well, if they would like to sponsor the Scrib and Gib podcast,
I'm sure you might. I'm sure you're going to see a logo.
We could
scoot through there.
we throw up a one of those little
I have a
QR
new-
codes and
Yeah, I
people
have
can
a
just
new.
enter
You guys
their
want to see my new
information.
logo?
Ooh,
Throw it up on the deal.
All right, yeah, I'll throw it up. You
Yeah.
guys keep talking. But
we
anyway,
can talk
that
some
was
Tiger Sports, and when Moosey finds it, we'll get it.
Yeah, let's
I
talk
think-
some Tiger sports. You know, we've been pretty obviously heavy in the football, closing it out with the. Finally, we kind of closed out, I would say, our football season and our fall season with the wrap up, which was a fun. We haven't really talked much from since then, but that was a blast. It was our first time doing that at the social space. So if you get a chance, check out the social space.
you got to check that one out.
Can you say that one more time?
Social space.
Wow, pull it out, would you?
Jeez, pull what out? I tell you, I kind of. Moose is he's a comedian. I
Hopped
guess.
up on some Diet Coke and Jimmy John's.
There we go.
You got to be hopped up on something. I can tell you that. But yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. Getting all those
awesome.
guys together and having a good time.
And gals.
Gals,
yep.
yep.
Gals did a great job.
Well, if it wasn't for Mara and Lily and excuse me, who's the other one again? Gibby.
Gibson.
Kiki.
No, I was waiting for you to say something.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was awesome.
Without those
Kids are
three
good.
ladies, there would have been kind of weird. But yeah. Well, I mean, you got all those guys. They wouldn't have even said anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the best story, right, was Mara and you trying to break and end her career before it
man.
started.
I'll never forget that night. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that was fun though. We got to check out.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yeah. All right. But
I don't
we're
have my
finally
logo. Sorry.
gonna.
It's not on this computer.
We're finally. Jesus. He
I'm
breaks
still.
it.
Hey, this is what happens behind the scenes, everybody. I
Hey.
actually work to make things happen, and these guys just talk like in
Well,
nonsense.
Scribner
Well, how about
talks. He's the only one that talks. So
You
we just have
just
to
get
listen.
a whiteboard behind us, and we'll draw up the JLS insurance.
right.
What does the JLS stand for? Can you tell us?
Justin Lee Strand.
Oh, so your middle name is Lee, huh?
Yeah.
Like Bruce Lee.
Like Bruce Lee.
I'm pretty.
He's as
we're
quick as
similar.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about what we know you're into, so
I
you're
know it.
behind the scenes stuff. But let's talk about our Tiger.
Yeah, we have
Winter
Tiger
Sport.
Sports on there. You guys are getting derailed.
Yeah, well, it happens during Christmas break, right?
I know it.
We
Yeah.
kind of fall off our routines, don't work as much, and we kind of get off on different. Yeah, let's just move on. I can't even think straight. But Tiger Sports, we'll start off with the girls program so far, right? New head coach Justin Ritzer, former alumni. I just talked to him today. We're going to get him on hopefully next week here. Kind of give him, kind of like we did with the volleyball girls, right? Kind of get him on here, kind of see where he's at in his coaching career. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's
it'd
his
be
first
awesome to
time
get
a
him on
head
here.
coach here. It's been great watching the kids this year. I know I've been at majority of the games, 5 out of the 6, I think. Definitely more enthusiasm. He likes, his, and we'll let him kind of get into it, but he's really into about pushing the pace. So it's fun. Like,
Yeah, and he can do it with the athletes he has.
yeah, and he's dialed in on it. He is 100%. That's the way he wants to coach and play, and he wants the kids to have that mentality, get out there and run, play good hard-nosed defense, but then run and have fun and get shots up.
Yeah.
It's been fun talking to him about it. Like, he's like, we still don't get enough shots up. And I'm like, geez, seems like you're shooting a lot out there. The kids are. But he's like, no, want more shots, right? And, every shot you don't take is one less you can make.
I agree.
Just so you know, and I know back in the day when you played Old Man's League, trust me, you shot it a lot. But it's fun watching them, and they're being led by a sophomore, Miley Covey. Very athletic, very quick, right? I mean, she's going to get up and down that court very fast. Now, sometimes I think he's trying to hold her back because she'll go 110 miles an hour, but she's had some really good games. She's playing really well, kind of running the point. She's kind of the leader out there.
Well, one thing I noticed, Scrib, was going to the games is that they're young overall. I mean, they have freshmen playing. I think Maddie Comroe's been playing quite a bit of minutes for them. Like you said, Covey's young. I think they got good leadership from the senior class that's there right now. So it's a good mix. I see a lot of similarities between the girls basketball and the girls volleyball, where it's a new coaching regime comes in. They're going to try to implement like what they want to do and what they want to accomplish, and they got a lot of young kids playing.
Yeah, and you got to flip the script of the culture, right? It's a whole different culture. Justin is really big into culture, really bringing, developing that team atmosphere and just that connectivity from the top down. So he's really into that. So it'll be fun to kind of talk to him about that. Again, it's just us two rum-dums talking, but I would agree that you're seeing that, right? And they're starting, I got to think they're starting 2 seniors, 1 junior, and 2 sophomores. So, and then they got definitely a couple seniors coming off the bench, and Jenna, and sorry, not Jenna, but JJ Von Wald and JJ JJ Wall, JC Wall. So she comes off, man, she can light it up from downtown.
Yeah, she can. She's a good shot.
So I've been at a couple games and she's making it from downtown to
Yeah,
Richmond,
she's
as I
good,
like to say on the old live stream. But then you also got a junior coming off the bench. You got, some sophomores. And then Maddie Comroe, the freshman too. So a very young team, and I think a team that's already got 2 wins on the year, right? So
Yeah. No, it's great.
They won their first game against St. Croix Prep, and then lost against Rice Lake, and that was fun.
That was
it.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Adeline Shepley has like 31 or 32 major D1 offers.
D1
already
offers.
As a
She
junior.
scored 43 points.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I think I witnessed Campbell score 40-some points. I think Joey Kidder might have scored 40 points
close,
in high
I
school.
think.
At least as close, but never. I mean, it's like 43 easy points. It's like, holy moly, is that girl good? And she's thin. I mean, she looks like olive oil out there. I mean, she's thin,
6'3".
right? And but she'll eventually fill out, of course, a little bit. But man, she was good. She's shooting from outside underneath post, and she was. Yeah, it was good. It was awesome, fun to watch.
I wish we had a camera.
I did too.
Oh, is my camera off?
Yes,
It is off.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, why don't you explain what you're talking about?
Oh, nothing. I was just when
okay.
you're 6'3" and in high school, you're not keeping up with anything, right? You can't
Right.
probably eat enough.
Right. Well, it's nice to have that type of metabolism.
Yeah.
We've lost that, obviously.
Oh,
Well, I don't know about Scrib.
But the
Yeah,
one
he's
thing
still
about
the
He
same
still looks
size,
like
I
he doesn't
think.
eat.
the thing about watching her play though is she was smooth, right? She wants to get up and down the court. She's very fast. She can jump out of the gym, right? She was a heck of a volleyball player
Yeah.
as well.
Well, she was hurt for a lot of the
and
season.
but she can shoot.
31 D1 offers.
It's something
Like we're talking
that.
like major colleges too. This isn't like
all your
Ferris
big
State or
Big Ten schools.
Yeah,
And I think she's waiting for some of the Yukons. I don't know if that'll happen, or the South Carolina, but she's waiting, I think, on some really big ones. But she's good.
Yeah,
and she's
fun.
going to get them. I mean,
Where's
she
she
is
out of?
she's a junior,
Rice Lake.
and
Rice
she's a junior.
Yep,
so
her sister is already playing college.
Man, Rice Lake just can produce basketball players. It seems
right,
like year
the,
after
the
year. there's
Ellington
always-
kids that were
Yes.
up there.
And then you got the Oars up there.
The
Yeah.
Oars, yeah.
Yep.
But it's fun. So it's been fun, though. Then they came back. They won their next game. And then they got into the Big Rivers Conference. They played Memorial. That Memorial is a very, very tough team, Oakland Memorial. And then they also played North. And North is better than I think. They got a couple players back. The O'Keefe twin came back. But it's been fun, right? I think that what you're going to see is they're heading into a tournament tomorrow. Well, it depends on this era. It'll be on Friday of the break here. They're going down to a tournament, just local, Elmwood, smaller schools. But it's good to have these kids playing and seeing success and what that's going to lead, because you can definitely see the girls are excited. And I was talking to some of the girls, the older girls, right? Like, hey, I mean, it is what it is, right? And now you're here, you're studying it's kind of like we talked to Julianne and Peyton and just what you've kind of experienced from the volleyball, right? You're setting the culture, you're setting the standard for what's going to be coming in the future. And it's fun to see these girls do that and take that path, because it's tough, and it was a rough season last year, right? It is what it is, but now you got a new coach, you're changing everything. And how you accept that, and what does that mean for your playing time, and what does that mean for your development? But I have definitely seen the kids put in time in during the summer, and I know Justin, right? We all know him. He's going to live in the gym, and he's going to do what he can to get this program back on winning tracks. It'll be fun to see. Be fun to see. And we'll let him kind of talk about that in the future here, hopefully next week. On the boys' side, same thing, 2-5. I don't want to say it's rebuilding season yet, but because I think that's kind of like we expected it to be a better season this year, but I think
That's early.
it is. That's
I
what I
mean,
was going to
it's
get to. Early and having Jack Charbonneau go down
Yeah.
with an injury, that hurt, because how I was going to say is like you're adapting to a little bit different style, right? For the last couple of years, we've been a team that has focused a lot on a big scorer from the outside, right? Reese Hitty, Owen Covey, CJ Campbell. Like that was kind of how your offense was ran. And now you got a guy who's put a ton of work in, has developed one hell of an inside game.
Right.
And Jack Charbonneau, and we started to see it, right? But I also started to see, like, how do you get Connor Raleigh the ball, because he's more of a set shooter, right? How does Abe Munson, coming off football, you got Abe and you had Nick Starright coming in, and they definitely put some football weight on, right? They had to get into basketball shape. And people don't realize when you're in football shape.
Two different sports.
It's two different sports.
It is.
And I've talked to, when I used to play a lot of old men's league, my wife was always running. I'm like, oh, trust me, I'm in shape. It's just that burst of speed, right? It's that constantly you're playing. And it's just getting
your legs. You got to get your legs.
Got to get your legs right.
Because you don't get, football. It's a completely different sport. Obviously, I mean, you snap the ball, and what's the average plays like 4.5 seconds or 5 seconds, and it can be painful, physical.
Yep.
But then you get 30 seconds off or 20 seconds off or whatever. However, obviously that will vary. But yeah, with basketball, especially the way they're playing now, Scrib, there's a lot of run and gun teams. There's not a lot of, hey, let's go down and, like what was that one Wisconsin team, Owen Withy or something like that?
Oh, West Salem?
Yeah, they used to pass the ball around for,
yeah.
You know what I mean, for 3-4 minutes because there's no damn shot clock, which drives me crazy in high school basketball. But so it's just a different game. Yeah, you got to get your legs under you. But no, I agree with you. I mean, Jack is I know I watched quite a few games last year, and I was like, man, I think this. And like you said, there's going to be a lot of time left. I wouldn't panic for the boys right now. I think they can put it together here, get Jack healthy. And make a good run here at the end of the season.
Yeah, the good thing. I mean, I think the good thing is I was at church last week and I saw Jack. Because he tore his he had a high ankle sprain is what they were expecting, and it happened in a shoot around before his game. So it's like, are you serious? And he had tennis shoes on and everything, just a freak deal. And I had heard like it could be 4 to 8 weeks.
Really?
Well, high ankle sprains are tough, and he's a guy that needs his feet, right? I mean, he's
for sure.
Footwork.
Do you need your feet?
Well, I was just waiting for somebody to rip on me.
Do you need your feet?
That's where I was going. Like, it's all footwork for Jack,
I
right?
had a comment there that was inappropriate. So
I
I
imagine that again. But what's interesting about Jack, though, is I saw him at church, and he did not have a brace on from what I could tell. He looked really good walking. So, I talked to Coach Stelright at one of the practices, and he was in that night shooting without a brace on, feeling good. Rumor is he would like to play sooner than later.
Come on, Jack, we need you.
But I'm like, I don't think he needs to play until the Big Rivers. So, like, they have a holiday tournament coming up as well. I'm hoping he sits out because this is one where you don't want to re-aggravate it, right?
Right.
So, to me, if it's 2 or 3 more games over break, just wait,
Let
get
it go.
back to
Yeah.
And if I was, again, I have nothing to do with it, but if I was him, I'd be waiting. If it's a Big Rivers game, you can play. If not, sit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we need him for the Big Rivers. The games are going to count when it matters. And, if they play any of the Division II or higher Division III teams for the playoff picture seeding, like, then maybe play. But definitely get better.
Right.
But I think the team is figuring out, like, there's been a couple games, man, when Connor Raleigh gets hot.
Yeah, he can
look
shoot.
Out. That guy can shoot.
He can fill it up. There ain't no doubt about it.
And I'd seen him in the gym quite a few times, shooting at times, and he can shoot.
Yeah.
He can shoot, and it's fun to watch. He's more of a set shooter, what I'd like to say. But, boy, between that, when he is set, he's going to make it. But if he gets an angle to the hoop, look out, because he's going to get there quick. He is faster and can finish at the hoop. It's fun watching him get in there and wiggle his way through the tree trunks. But the other guy that's fun getting back and getting back to playing basketball the way that I've seen him grow up is Nick Starright. Like, first couple games, I know he's coming off like pneumonia and stuff, but he was not in basketball shape. I think everybody would agree, and he's getting better and better, and it's fun to see because Nick's a good guy, man. I just love watching him.
Yeah, he was a big kid, too.
He got forced into getting into basketball shape with Jack going down.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, for
that
sure.
was one of the games I watched with you there.
Yeah.
Remember? And he played
almost all of it.
90%. I mean, and he
Yeah.
was huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
And not a knock on him. He's playing
Right.
football. You
Yeah.
know, like
Right.
being sick. But without your other big man there,
Yeah.
hey, Nick, we need you.
Right.
Oh, that end of the game, he was like, whew.
But I think you're also seeing some guys step up. And Gavin Terrace has stepped in and done
Yeah,
a really
Gavin
nice.
does a nice. He's a big body. He's a strong kid down there.
Yep, he's done a really nice job out there stepping in and filling that hole with Charbonneau gone. So it's been fun to watch other people get in. And I know they got another guy out there that we're waiting to see. Alex Ani, the senior, he's had
Waiting
the
to heal
football
up.
injury and
Yep.
coming back. I'm hoping here in the middle of January he can finally get out there and start playing because he's a guy that I think would help with his length.
Yep.
And he can shoot, he can score at the rim, but just a big body too. So.
Exactly.
But we got to get these guys back and healthy and right the ship here, sitting here at 2-5 right now. And they got some big conference games. They lost Memorial, and I watched that game, and Memorial's good. Cooper Jesperson is a real deal. I believe he hit 94 point something on the gun for pitching.
Right. Yeah, no, he's a dog.
Broke his elbow in basketball last season, so he didn't get to see him. But he's a good pitcher. But he's a phenomenal basketball player. Just can shoot. So it'll be fun to get him back. Not get him back, sorry, but it'll be fun to get Alex back and just get back into the conference season and get some wins under our belts.
Yeah.
We need it. Now let's flip over to wrestling. I don't got much on wrestling because normally I'm not the guy. We got to make a call out here to Troy Quaddy. I'll get a little bit more here before our next, but I know they've had some good matches. You're looking at Carter Sturba and Luke Kamish as the two big guys for wrestling right now. So I'll get a little bit more on there. I know they've had some. I know they're looking good, I've been told. So two seniors that are, what I expect to see at the end of the year, regional, sectionals, and state, hopefully again, and hopefully place high. I know they've had they had a home match already.
They only have a couple. Wrestling's one of those weird sports. You don't get a lot of home meets. You only get like 2 or 3 because they have quads are huge.
Yeah.
And,
kind of like a little bit like volleyball. Most.
Yeah, you hardly get your conference meets in
Yeah.
just because you have quads and you're wrestling everybody.
The other one we got to talk about, they had the powerlifting, right? They had their home meet, and they won
meet.
that. They destroyed that, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And they had some guys already going on. I know the latest, I just got to say, the latest D-Rock.
Yeah. The latest D-Rock up there.
Dennis was a favorite of ours, but I think we're kind of pushing him to the curb now. Now it's Daisy D-Rock.
Daisy D.
She made it to state, so just because of the D-Rock family.
Right.
We
love it.
Rock family, but so congratulations to all the powerlifters that already qualified for state. There was a ton of them. I heard some big numbers were put up, and man, I'm up there at times for basketball. I mean, just so many kids. It's crazy.
Right.
And they're just pumping them out. Big.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. They have a hell of a program going right now, and it definitely helps all the other sports as well.
100%. And then you got the hockey team, right? The hockey team coming in, right? State champions 2 years ago, state runners up last year. Now they're part of the playoff picture where they're elevated based off their performance. So now they will be in the Division I. So, hey, they got to keep it rolling, and they got one loss. That was to Memorial. It was a close game, right? I know they had a couple guys out, I think, for that game too. So I would expect them. They're in a big tournament this weekend.
Okay.
Bennett left this morning. Yeah, the holiday. I think they played the number 3 rated team. I think that's Neenah, I think.
Okay.
So
awesome.
I mean, they're going to play some tough competition. Bennett thought that they were on the really tough side of the bracket.
Okay.
Which even if you come back and say they go 1-2, if you played it good and you played good competition, you lost. But if you played good, hey, that just builds you for the
there's no doubt. I mean, I remember when we were talking with John and Coach Kelly after they had won state, and we had said what was one of the big turning points of the season, I believe was this tournament.
Yeah, it was.
And they didn't do great at it. I think they basically said, hey, guys, we're going to, shit or get off the pot after this thing. I mean, we were going to, this is time to step up, and we're going to see what we're made out of. And obviously, the rest is history in a state title. So you got to play competition. That's one of the most important things. If you want to really know where you're at, you got to play competition.
Neenah's coming in at 8-0-1.
Yeah, I think Bennett said they're the 3rd-rated team in Division I. So I think that's great. So I mean, to me, right, you got young goalies in there right now. But beyond the goalie situation, you got a ton of experience, right? You got the Missile and Unger as a junior, but you got Regan Savarine. But then you just go to the seniors. You got Gage Fox, Bjorn Bonneman, Steven Chapman, Brody Jackson, Joe Hepner.
Yeah.
I mean, you have seniors, Max Kredovics. I don't know who else.
I mean, they're dogs. I mean,
Langness. You got the Canton Langness. I mean, you got 7 to 10. I'm sure I'm missing some seniors. I don't know them all, but Zaylen Sweet, right?
Yeah.
You got some seniors out there that have played a ton of hockey at the highest level, right? From the state championships to last year to this year. So this is a team that I think is just going to, the better the competition they play, regardless of the outcome, as long as they're competitive, playing tough, it's going to help everyone. Now, remember, they're playing a young goalie, right? So depending on which goalie's in there, right, that goalie's got to get that experience. And I think ideally when you're playing against tougher competition, it may not always be the outcome you want, Gibby, but you're getting better.
Right.
And I think that's what we got to look at. I mean, I think that's exciting. So it'll be fun to see how they come. And I'm talking to Bennett, you don't get much out of these senior boys, right? We've talked about that. But I would expect them to get a win, somewhere along the line. I just can't see them going down and losing twice. Right. I really can't.
I agree.
And I'm not saying Bennett said that by no means, but I just think the idea that he said, they're in the tough side of the bracket, so you never know. But to me, that's the side of the bracket you want.
There ain't no doubt.
I mean, why would you want to just cruise through it, get to the championship, and lose? To me, I'd rather play 2 to 3 tough games and see where it ends up.
Hockey's weird. It's not about wins or losses. It's about how you're playing at the end of the season.
Right.
I know that's for every sport. Don't get me wrong. But hockey seems to be one that swings so hard. I mean, you can be a 500, 750 team, be playing so well at the end of the season and make it very deep in the playoffs.
Or you get that, I mean, just in the NHL, right? You get a hot goalie.
Yeah.
Or you get a hot line.
Exactly.
It's just so critical. I would agree, right? I mean, you got some of these playoff teams, they go in and they're the best team by
you get a basketball team that plays hot at the end of the season, but it's not like hockey where they just start swinging.
Sometimes in the NCAA, you get a team that's crazy.
And I'm thinking more like high school.
Basically, if you're in the NCAA tournament and you're the team that's talked about, you want to play Wisconsin because that normally gets you. I mean, I just think about the Seth Curry years and last year.
That's funny.
But all right, hey, that's your fall. I mean, your winter Tiger sports. We're going to get back into the weekly thing here with all the Tiger sports. We're right. Getting out of the break here. We'll get back to normal. We're going to get some pictures up, some videos. We're going to start rocking and rolling. We do have to get over to our favorite team. Mm-hmm. The Pack! We're going to talk a little NFL. I tell you, Moose, are you buying your Minnesota Vikings? Are you buying?
Hey, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on, Moose.
You guys.
Come on. Are you buying?
I am so... Not quite yet, no.
Not yet?
I was even just telling pregame here, we were talking
Moose,
Pat McAfee.
They're 13-2 for crying out loud.
I was just listening to McAfee. I heard a clip about him, and he's going, nobody like in the national media is giving the Vikings any respect. He goes, they're 13-2, and he's like, all they talk about is who's going to play quarterback next year. Well, he's like, why would you talk about the quarterback they have this year?
But that's part of the Vikings fans, though, because they all are like, hey, you know, he's gone. We got to get J.J. McCarthy playing. Part of it is your own fans are saying it, too. And I've been talking, like, I remember when we talked early on when you were not, we don't want to talk about the Vikings.
I think it is pretty crazy, though, the fact that they are talking already about, it's just like they're
sign the goddamn guy.
Well, it's great. He's got, okay, so the last 3 wins, or last 3 years, he's had 13 wins. He's got 13 this year. So it's like crazy, like how well he's done.
Have you seen the KOC stat about his quarterbacks? And
well, they got to ease up on that. I mean, I like what they talk about that. Cause
what do they got to ease up?
Well, I was listening to one of the...
He's not a Packer guy. That's why.
You know what I mean?
No, my point here is I was listening, I think it was Jonas and Knox, one of the ESPN, and they're just like, if everybody has to relax, the idea of just getting rid of Darnold and Daniel Jones will be the next one. They're like, hey... Their point is they love KOC, but there's a difference between Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold. And their point is if you just think that
so what's the difference?
KOC is the next quarterback whisperer.
He is a whisperer.
You better be careful because they just say, Darnold is more accurate. That was his thing in college. He was a good quarterback. Remember, Daniel Jones
he was the first overall.
Yeah, that's the point. Daniel Jones had one good year, and all of a sudden he shot up high on the list.
Yeah, he played for Duke.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point that they were kind of making. Is like,
but I mean, they want JJ as their man.
Well, I know, but everybody is like.
Somebody just said, Moose, I know you probably know this, but somebody said he just had another surgery.
Yeah, he had like 3
that was
surgeries.
3 weeks ago or
yeah,
something like that.
It's like, man, so he's.
That's the point where I'm getting at. They're like, they need to sign Sam Darnold, and because
they're
if you
going to steal at $10 million this year.
If you think Daniel Jones is going to do what he did this year, I think. Their point is that's probably not going to happen.
Here's my take, and everybody's talking about more and more. I heard it once, probably 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. What are they going to do with Sam Darnold? What are they going to do with Sam Darnold? And they said, well, one, I think it was, and I'm kind of a Colin Cowherd fan, so don't hate me because of it. I like some of his takes.
He's got a cow in here.
Anyway,
throw one of those babies over.
Yep, there's the American National cow. Yeah. Anyway, my thing is it's like you two. My thing is it's. They're talking about what to do, re-signing him. Let him go out and see what he can get. Offer him whatever you can. But I think truly, if they want to keep him, they're going to franchise tag him.
Yeah, $38 million. I think.
I thought it was 41 for next year.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever it is, but here's the problem: whatever you have to pay him, it doesn't count, right? Is that what the franchise tag does? It doesn't count against you in the cap.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think that's why you do it. The franchise tag has gone up. Right?
Let me call the biggest Viking fan. Hold on.
I think they do know that they said his evaluation for this year was $10 million. They said next year's $34 million. So he'll probably sign somewhere, they think, for 3-4 years and make his $120 million.
But that's just it. If you're the Vikings, I think that's how the franchise tag works. That's why you do it, because it's not a cap hit.
Yeah. Well, it's something.
Or something with the cap in there, right? So
I talked to the biggest homer in town here, Braymeyer, about it at Gibby's place, and he was saying, I thought it was said 38.1 is what they kind of thought it might have been, Moose. That's why I came up with that. I thought it was 38, but it could be. But either way, it's better than the 60 or,
Yeah, well,
he's having a great season. And Braymeyer, we'll quote Braymeyer, he felt like, let's sign him. Yeah. And I would agree with Bray. Like, the point is like, you don't know what you're getting out of JJ. I know JJ's a guy, but he's doing good. Let JJ, they just keep, I've been watching, like, all the games lately, and you've been seeing it too. They just keep talking about, like, how do the Packers do it? Well, they do it because let them sit for a few years and get better. I mean, I think it's...
Howard had a good take on that. He's like,
they're the only team that does it.
Only team that's ever done it for the past 3 quarterbacks, and look how.
And the other one was Patrick Mahomes, because he sat behind Alex Smith for a year.
3 quarterbacks in a row.
Well, it's what the Packers do, man.
Rodgers, Love.
And I think obviously it's early in Love's career. I was there Monday night, so it was kind of fun to see, and I love being at the games because I love watching the game from a different level, and you can kind of see like everything that's going on. Love did a nice job. I think obviously he's got a lot of growth, I think, left in him. I mean, there was times where Watson was wide open. Wicks was wide open and he didn't even see him, but that's fine. I mean, that's going to happen. But to be that great elite Tom Brady type, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you're talking about some of the best who's ever played. So we'll see. I mean, I hope he has a heck of a career here. But I think the jury's still out a little bit. I mean, we'll find out.
When was this there, Gibby?
This is Monday. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just look at that right there. Having a lot of fun with one of my best buddies, Brian Nadeau. We were from the seats there, and man, what an electric crowd it was that night. It was. I remember the first time I went to the Packer games, I was a little bit disappointed, and I couldn't figure out why the crowd wasn't older or louder. Well, it's because they're all like 80.
They've been holding on to their tickets for years.
I'm like looking around me. I'm like, holy cow! The average age is 65.
And then you watch the Vikings play in Seattle, and you're like, they couldn't hear squat.
It's. But I will say this: Monday night, I don't know if all the people was just like they thought it was going to be too cold or whatever. But it was younger. I'll say that around me. I was looking around, and it was loud. Yeah. And we had a lot of that stadium was rocking.
Fun.
So it was
Did you get my picture about being lucky?
Check your phone. I had a blast down there with me and Nadeau. We had brand new. There's a new hotel down there too called the Legacy. So if you're a Packers, if you like to go down there and go to games, I know like the Midway, and there's another one that's the Quality, and I think is pretty popular. Yeah. But that Legacy is a gorgeous hotel. I would recommend it highly to anybody.
But back to the Vikings quickly, because I mean we don't normally like to talk them, but I think if you're a Viking fan, you gotta want your GM to sign him. I think they're crazy. They just think they can turn it over.
They're going to sign him.
There's to JJ. No but the thing is every game they win, and it's not helping. Like the last 3 games, Sam Darnold basically had to bring him back on a game-winning drive. Yeah. And he's done it. So as a Viking fan, like you need those wins, right?
Yeah.
But every one of them is like, well, that's about $1 million. Oh, that's about 2. I mean, at this point, it literally is.
Well, I mean, he's gonna demand his money, and he's gonna get it. So he'll be anywhere between 35 and 40 million probably by the time it's all said and done. I think it might be more than that right now. The going rate is ridiculous. Well, it depends on how far he goes in the playoffs.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up, but before we do, we got to talk about a guy who's lucky in life, and talk about something beautiful.
I thought we were gonna cover the playoffs. We're not gonna.
Well, we can, but we're got to get a picture up there about somebody lucky. Because that's a guy that's lucky. Look at that sunset in the back.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how Jody can stand there and smile next to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think anybody could smile in that moment, to be honest with you.
In that moment, if she could just picture a different person there, maybe. But no, just got to give it.
She probably is.
We just got to give a shout out to Jody, because all she has to do is put up with you every day.
I know, isn't it? I mean,
but we can go back and talk a little bit more about the playoff picture, because apparently you didn't want to talk about your wife, which
no, she's beautiful. That's a beautiful picture. It's a beautiful sunset. We're on Naples Beach there, and yeah, it's awesome. Okay. We'll
I didn't know if he would actually be kind enough to say something nice about his wife.
Oh yeah,
putting you on the spot, Gibby. But back, okay, so you want to talk quickly. We're going to do 3 minutes, fastest 3 minutes, brought to you by Linda's Construction. So,
yep, let's just do it quick. That's
number one seed in the AFC is the Chiefs.
Yep,
Who can beat the Chiefs?
I would say right now, I think it's a 3-horse race. I really do. I think it's going to be either Baltimore and obviously Buffalo. I mean, I think those are obvious as we look right here. This is, if they're projecting everything, this is the way it's going to turn out. But I think Buffalo's could go through Denver quite easily. I think Pittsburgh's tough. Their defense is tough, but Russell Wilson, he's kind of been exposed. I don't know. How do you feel about these last couple games? He has not looked very well.
No, he hasn't, but I think the key is he's also played 2 very tough teams.
Yeah, but that's what the playoffs is, man. That's
100%. But I honestly think the 2 best teams in the AFC right now are the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens and the Chiefs.
And the Bills.
Really?
The Bills
you
are
don't
playing.
Think the Chiefs are?
The Bills are playing ridiculous. Josh Allen is playing at a rate that is nuts right now, and they are blowing teams out.
Yeah.
And trust me, the Chiefs are good, but they literally win every game by.
But that's the thing about the Chiefs.
Do
you remember last year? I forgot about
this. They were 9-6, and they won in a row.
Right, last year they lost to the Raiders. Mm-hmm. And that Christmas game, and everybody thought finally they've fallen off. They're terrible, and then they run it and win the Super Bowl. So I just kept betting against Patty Mahomes. It's tough.
I know, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Bills are playing phenomenal. Josh Allen is playing ridiculous.
Yeah,
and same with Lamar. It was just crazy. Lamar ran that long one in. Who is the active leader for rushing TDs right now for quarterbacks?
Right now, I thought it was Lamar.
How many do you think he has?
Because didn't he beat Michael Vick?
Just rushing yards.
Rushing yards.
How many rushing TDs does Jackson have?
Well, actually, I think Allen has more rushing touchdowns
Allen
this year.
has 56.
Yeah.
He's the active leader, 56.
Yeah.
Lamar has 38.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
I would have never guessed that.
Well, the only thing I think Lamar is small.
The tush push
is huge, right? And
because the next one, Jalen Hurts is up there.
Yeah. So I would believe with that, but
yeah, you forget that.
Yeah.
But that's my teams, and I mean, Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs.
I'm going to pick Baltimore.
I'm going to pick the Buffalo.
Okay.
It depends which refs show up.
Yeah, that's true too.
Well, that's a little bit.
Speaking of Michael Vick, if you go back, rewind a minute.
Norfolk State.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Well, he'll get some dogs there.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Oh my God.
That was a pun that was not intended. It was awesome.
All right. Over to the quickly, again, to finish up the fastest 3 minutes by Linda's Construction is the NFC. I think the NFC right now, despite the injuries and that, I still think, I honestly believe the team to beat is the Lions.
I don't.
Oh, who do you got? Ooh.
Are
you going where I think you're going?
I think right now.
You might be my best friend right now.
I don't think so.
Don't tell me. Don't even say it if you're going.
I think right now it's going to be very tough to beat the boys across the river.
You're an effing idiot.
How
do you even say that?
I'm going to say this right now for you, Moosey. I would not doubt if the Minnesota Vikings get the number 1 seed in the NFC.
You think so?
I just think the Lions are way too hurt. Their defense, I mean, they're going to call up D-Rock and Solon, I think, here pretty quick. I mean, they're so hurt, and probably their corners, so they'll probably call Abe too. I mean, they are so hurt. They're going to score. Let's put it this way. I'm going to bet the over on every single one of those games. Because they can't stop anybody. They're going to score 35 to 40 points, but they're going to give up 35 to 45 points.
So we're going up tomorrow, and we're going to go put money on the over.
Oh, I'd go on the over 100%.
So are you saying the Packers have no chance against the Vikings on
I'm
Sunday?
not saying they don't have a chance. I'm just saying right now, I think here's the deal.
But if the Packers beat the Vikings, the Lions are not losing to the Bears.
I'm telling you right now, with the Vikings, their offense is better than the Packers' offense. I think. And this is why. I think
it's hit and miss, though.
I think Josh Jacobs is a better running back than Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones is good enough to make it happen. The wide receivers aren't even close, in my opinion. Our receivers are good, but they can't hold JJ's jockstrap. They're not as good as Addison. Our tight end, I love him, but he is not as good as Hawkinson, I don't think. That one's a close one. I just think their offense is better. Their defense, now that's a little bit tough. But you look at a guy like Van Ginkel right now who's got
Scotty boy.
Scotty boy. And they keep I won't do that. But their defense is playing tough.
Can't even hear us anymore. It's so loud. Just like in the
The Green Bay Packers. La, 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 la.
got him going.
But I think
you did.
But it was fun. It was fun Monday. I think the Packers are tough. I think our defense is. And we got to get Jair back. He's a China doll. But I'm telling you, I think he's. Unfortunately, I think he's that point in his career, Scrib, where he's gonna play hurt a lot, and then he's gonna come on at the end in the playoffs when it counts. Because then guess what? Then they just demand more money at the end because they're that much more important. So it is what it is. But I do think Edgar and Cooper is an absolute stud. Watching him play live is so much better than watching him on TV. He is an absolute
you look pretty dang
dog.
good on
He is
TV.
going to be. He's going to be a stud. And if that guy can stay healthy,
Number 7 can stay hurt.
I don't know.
But
I
after
think
Cooper
Quay
comes-
Walker's. I know, but somehow they got to get those two on the field together.
Well, they got to figure that out because if number 7's hurt and Cooper's out there, I'll take it.
Wyatt's good. Devontae Wyatt's good. I still think Van Ness needs to put his big boy pants on. He's a monster, but he's got to learn how to play football a little bit better. But those guys
The only
are.
thing that when you say they're better,
We're gonna find out Sunday.
But the receivers, to me, are always made by the throws and that. Like, I get how good Jefferson. I was telling Bray this, and he didn't like it, but it was hard to. I mean, my point is like, just this year, like, how many highlight reels does Jefferson have catches?
No, I get it, but I think he opens everybody else up.
Yep, and you're starting to see that with Dobbs and Watson. And you know me, my view, I'm not a big Watson fan, but my point is
he
like,
got hurt on
I know,
Monday
but
as well.
my point is like the Packers receivers are like Jaden Reed is a stud.
He is, but he's not. He's for some reasons kind of disappeared a little bit in our past.
Throw him the ball.
I agree.
That's Matt LaFleur.
I
Remember,
agree.
Jordan Reed has better stats through 2 years than Tyreek Hill has. They're nuts. If you go look at how many, it's crazy. Give him the ball. So my thing is like a lot of it has come down to like I just don't think Sam Darnold's having a great year, and I just talked about it. But my biggest thing is that Sam Darnold is not Patrick Mahomes. He is not Josh. I would
never say that.
He's just an average quarterback playing on a good team. So when he starts to have a bad game, things go haywire in there, and that's what we get pressure on him, right? And then just like in the Seattle, that safety or corner took a horrible angle at that pass at Jefferson.
Yeah,
what are you doing? If he just goes at a different angle, tips the ball away, and
that's a whole new ball game.
Correct.
I get that. But
that's my point. Like I just think like for the Packers, they just got to go play their game.
At the end of the day,
Love can't push it.
At the end of the day, this is what I think. I think if Jair comes back, I think Jair can lock down and shut down JJ. He's done it almost every time he's played when he's healthy. He's done it. And so if he can go one-on-one on JJ and they can put pressure on Donovan, I think we'll win. But if it's one of these where Jair doesn't play and all of a sudden we're going to be in a lot of zone defense and we can't get pressure, I don't know, man.
What about we get the old number 20 out there from Richmond? Travis Gibson, can he take on Jefferson?
No.
Oh.
So,
All
but
right,
that's
so
my
give me your right now. 2 weeks left in the season. Who are the two teams in the Super Bowl?
Right now,
If you had the pick, if you're going to put all your money right now.
I would go right now.
Right, I said that 3 times. Right now.
Well, I'm going to do my brain and not my heart. I think it might be an all-purple Super Bowl.
Strand,
Baltimore
And Vikings.
I haven't watched enough probably to even make a wise
I'm going to
decision.
go Bills. Hell, I'll do it. Bills and Packers.
All right.
All right. That's it. That's all we got.
Could change next week, but here we go.
Yeah, we'll see. Next week's huge, or this weekend, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Scrib.
And I'm Gib.
And we got Moose on the loose.